Hi, in this video, let us solve this equation and also discuss the correct write-up style. So here we have 2a minus 3 over 3 minus a over 2 equals negative 2. So a good starting line would be assume there's a number a that satisfies the equation. And so this a is a number, so this is a number equals this is the number negative 2. So the two numbers are equal in the sense that they're the same point on the number line. So I start with rewriting the equation out here. Okay. Quickly let me point out to you that we cannot cancel this 3 and 3 because the cancellation law of fractions tells you only if we have a product of numbers here. If 3 was a factor of the numerator and factor of the denominator, we could cancel it. Right now, we do not see 3 times something. Here we see 2 times a minus 3. So we cannot cancel the 3. There is no math rule that allows you to do that. So we are faced with this equation which has fractions in it and we need to handle it with care. Right away, remember my comment in other videos. Don't turn the fractions into finite decimals. In this case 1 over 3 we cannot turn it into a finite decimal and we're going to keep it as fractions, and instead what we're going to do in this step is we're going to find a number to multiply both sides of the equation by so that we clear the fraction. So here I look at 3, I look at 2, I multiply the two denominators, 3 times 2, 6. And this trick will always work. Take all the denominators of the fractions present in the equation, multiply them together. And that number you get is the magic number that you can use to multiply both sides of the equation. And let us go through the steps and you'll see why 6 will work. So look at how I write up this line. So these parentheses are absolutely important. Just make it a habit. Whenever you're multiplying both sides by a number and you have a big expression like this, enclose it in parentheses and put that magic number here, 6. You may even want to use some color pens if you like. On this side, same way. These parentheses are absolutely crucial. So this means, if I put parentheses, this means 6 times negative 2. If you don't put the parentheses, it would be 6 minus 2, which is completely different. So we write this step out carefully. And after this step, it's only a matter of using the distributive law of numbers. So applying the distributive law, we get 6 times this number, and I write it carefully here, minus 6 times this number, which I write carefully, equals 6 times negative 2 is easy enough to calculate. So I write negative 12 here. Now here there are many ways you could handle simplifying this expression. I've written out more steps so you follow everything carefully. What I do here is I rewrite 6 as 3 times 2. So now I have 3 times 2 times 2a minus 3, and here I have this 3. Similarly here I rewrite 6 as 2 times 3. This a is this a, this 2 is 2, equals negative 12. Notice also when we solve equations, each line is an equation and the equality sign is right in the middle. We don't put any extra equal signs here. It's like every line is an equation. So now we are at this point. So notice what we can do in this line. Now we can apply the cancellation law here. All we have is product of numbers, 3 times 2 times 2a minus 3. So here we see 3 is a factor of the numerator because in the numerator all we have is multiplication of 3 numbers. 3 is a number, 2 is a number, this whole 2a minus 3 enclosed in the parentheses, that's a number. So by the cancellation law of fractions, we can cancel these this 3 and this 3, the common factor, and really get only 2 times 2a minus 3. Similarly here, we can cancel off the common factor of 2, will be left with 3 times a or 3a. This negative is this negative, equals negative 12. So look at what we've accomplished so far. We had an equation with fractions. We chose to multiply both sides by this magic number of 6, which is simply product of the denominators. By doing so, we were able to clear the fraction and get an equation with no fractions. And now this should be pretty easy to solve, which we'll do on the other board. And pay attention, go slow and pay attention and notice what I said about this 3 and this 3 cannot be cancelled because 3 is not a factor. Here this 3 and this 3 can be cancelled because this is a different scenario. It's 3, now the number 3 times the number 2 times this whole number 2a minus 3. So those 3's can be cancelled. So keep that in mind, and on the other board we'll write this down and we'll finish up solving this equation. So here we are. This is the equation we have. Once again, applying the distributive law, we get this step. 2 times 2a is 4a. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 minus 3a equals negative 12. And recall my comment in another video. We have this expression that has terms with a in it. It has a number, which is a clue for you that we must simplify this expression before you begin to add the same number to both sides and so on. So that's what I do. 4a minus 3a is a, minus 6 is here, equals negative 12. There it is. At this point, I choose to add the number 6 to both sides. Remember, solving an equation means isolating a or getting a all by itself. Here we can see if we add 6 to both sides, then out here I will get a minus 6 plus 6. I chose not to write the minus 6 plus 6 because they would cancel out. If you prefer to write that, you could write minus 6 plus 6 here. Here, negative 12 plus 6. And in the next step, a equals negative 6. Be careful when you have negative numbers. Go slow and make sure your calculations are correct. Now we would like to say a equals negative 6 is the solution. And we can do so as soon as we have completed the check work, then we'll get to see that. So this is the conclusion, but before that, let's look at quickly at the check work. On the left hand side of the equation, this is the expression I had. So I start out with that expression. I put in negative 6 wherever I see a, and that's what this line is telling me. And here we must simplify this expression carefully. Again, notice when fractions are present, I leave them as fractions. I don't convert them into decimals. So what do I do here? 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Negative 3 over 3 negative. This is this negative. Negative 6 over 2 is my negative 3. And I continue on. Negative 12, negative 3. You can think of it on the number line if you want to. But that simplifies to negative 15 over 3. Negative negative of negative 3, you can think of it as opposite of negative 3, that's positive 3. And here negative 15 over 3 is negative 5 plus 3, and that simplifies to negative 2, which was indeed the right hand number on the original equation. So everything works out. We just checked and made sure a equals negative 6 does satisfy the equation. So we get to say a equals negative 6 is the solution. So be sure to proceed as follows. Check work is important for the way we have been introduced to solving equations. So just because you found a number, you cannot stop there. You need to really make sure it satisfies the equation, and then you get to say that number is the solution. So proceed in this manner. Thank you.